I remember Colbert. Do you remember Cancel Colbert? That whole thing.
This was
I
back in his old show. Report. Yeah, back during the Colbert Report, he had a character that was supposed to be. It was designed to mock like people who are like unironically racist, and so he was playing a character. Well, he was playing his conservative talk show host character, doing Ching Chong Ding Dong, which was his stereotype of the Asian person. And somebody online like took offense at it. And I don't know if it's unclear, because at first it seemed like she didn't understand that it was irony, but then she said she did understand that it was irony. She just didn't care.
Yeah,
which makes it worse, I think. Yeah, she said it was still offensive, even so, because of the way he was playing it up or whatever.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. And so she started the hashtag Cancel Colbert. And honestly, like, that's the first time I heard the term canceling in a context other than, like, obviously she was trying to cancel a show, but people then started applying it to, just like, the way we talk about canceling now. And that's the first time. That's the first time I remember hearing canceling in that context, was in response to Cancel Colbert.
Interesting.
So to me, in my mind, that started the movement. Although I've looked at the etymology, but there's other incidents that people point to. But in my mind, that was the first incident. And yeah, it was because he was being like mildly offensive, but in a way that was clearly ironic. And so obviously he didn't believe the things he was saying. He didn't intend for his audience to believe the things that he was saying. He was obviously making fun of racists, not making fun of Asians.
Didn't you get invited to the RNC meeting? Or what was it? The RNC, what do you call that?
I don't remember.
Yeah, convention.
It would just be the RNC. That's what I'm thinking. It's confusing because the RNC hosts the RNC.
Right.
Because RNC means two different things. It's the same thing for DNC.
I just didn't want it to be confused.
Yeah.
But I feel he got invited and they didn't know he was satire.
Oh, he was I think you might be thinking of the White House
press
correspondence dinner.
That was
that's what it was.
Yeah, and but I don't know. I thought Bush. Bush kind of liked it. Like, he was laughing the whole time. I don't know.
Bush had a great sense of humor.
Bush is the kind of motherfucker that laughs because other people are laughing, though. You're like, I don't get it.
Or maybe he doesn't get the joke.
Yeah,
that could be. For sure.
I think that when it comes to edgy humor, I just telling somebody this the other day. There's been a few white comics that have been able to go as far as even saying the N-word, and nobody flipped out about it, because you have to be really, really funny if you want to get away with saying really edgy stuff. If you're going to say stuff that pisses people off, way more people need to be laughing than getting upset. Louis C.K. and George Carlin both pulled it off, and nobody gave a fuck.
That's true.
Because they've never done anything to lead us to believe that they're racist, and they were always hilarious. Now,
I never knew George Carlin did it.
He did it in the context of a joke about the word itself. He said,
excellent.
Explaining why that nobody gets upset. He's like, it's just a word. There's no inherent
Lenny Bruce
there's nothing bad about the word itself. It's bad when people use it hatefully. He goes, nobody gets mad when Eddie Murphy or Richard Pryor do it. And then he used the word. I'm not going to repeat his whole bit, but it was a good bit because it explains the truth of the matter. And nobody got overly upset because it's George Carlin. That was a time where you wouldn't. I think the idea here is that we get upset when people the idea that people get upset about jokes that are clearly jokes now came from, we would get mad at people when they would say things and then be like, hey, I'm joking. But it would have never crossed into the idea of comedians back then. We know they're joking. That's what the fuck people paid for them to be there for. We know they don't mean it.
Yeah, but I feel like if you tried that today, you would get a lot of racist comedians who would say, oh, but it's a joke, and would but seriously say certain things. I think that's what it comes down to, is there certain bad actors that kind of ruin it for everybody, and then nobody can do it.
Well, that's the thing though, is that you also have to be not putting out racist shit on the side too. If you're gonna tell
Right.
edgy joke, like if you want to tell a joke about like say rape, like Kai said he didn't like Family Guy 4, you absolutely cannot be accused of raping people and make that joke. It's gonna hold a lot different weight if somebody does that than if
Oh
they
yeah,
don't.
like that Rick and Morty guy. Like there were a
Ooh.
bunch of rape jokes in Rick and Morty, specifically voiced by him, and now those are all coming back at him because of his
Yes.
allegations. Yeah.
And that's what I mean. The context in which the context being the person who's telling the jokes, if their record's clean on the thing, then we know we have no reason to believe that they're full of hate. We should expect them to be joking. And if you think it's funny, laugh. If you don't, that's fine. But
See, but that's a lot of
Shouldn't
guardrails.
assume-
So you have to be clean
I
yourself,
think that's how it works.
and you have to be funny. And
not how it should be. It's how it works.
But that's the risk, right? Because
Yeah.
if your joke isn't funny, then you're risking your whole career with that joke. Because you don't, there's no guarantee that an audience is going to find it funny, every single time.
Which is why before the
That's-
camera comes on, you need to workshop that shit out all the little places along the way.
Yeah, but there's going to be a camera in those audiences, or
Sure.
some kind of recording device. It's a risk. If you do that sort of thing in public, it's a risk.
Yeah, I'm actually covering right now a guy I grew up with. He made a lot of poetry for the alt-lit scene, which heavily influenced internet culture today. He performed in 8 countries in all 50 states. He got accreditations all over the place. A Harvard English, academic, I remembered at the time, said that by definition that he was the most honest poet who ever lived. So he had a lot of notoriety under his
Wow.
belt, and then he fucked up pretty bad, and then he disappeared from the internet. And I'm covering his content, and then I'm gonna be covering what happened, and I'm hoping ultimately that I can find him so I can talk to him. Nobody's seen or heard from him in 6 years, and see if he's okay. Ask him why he hasn't come back, because I think that even if you make a mistake, you're still worthy of compassion. There's I think it's smart to step out of the light, but I don't think that if somebody does something wrong, if somebody does something that's even really abhorrent, a murderer gets to walk out of prison and go live their life at the end of their sentence.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Just along that topic, CTV's coming back, I see.
I'm
What do you
glad
get
to see
canceled
CTV back. Being CTV,
I mean, was there a thing? Because it's funny. I haven't thought of him in so long.
There was a thing. Yeah,
There's
there
a
was a
big
thing.
scandal.
There were other things, but there was a thing that did it.
What was
what's
the
up,
thing?
Parallax?
It was,
Parallax.
hey. And he took an appropriate amount of time off, and we'll see if he's feels any different about it, or if he's just testing the waters and it's going to be exactly the same. I don't know.
Well, I just saw the video of him going up against a enraged erudite.
Oh, enraged about that or something else?
No, erudite was enraged in
Yeah,
general,
Oh,
and
Oh,
he
well, she
decided
was
to poke the
already
bear.
enraged?
She was already enraged, and he started poking the bear. Prime poked the bear. Everybody poked the bear, and then the bear left.
Oh boy.
It was a good one. I need to talk to Prime about that.
She gets mad a little bit easy. I've noticed. Yeah.
They're saying she was drunk,
Oh, it could be.
but I don't know. She didn't seem drunk. She
I
just
mean,
seemed-
I've never seen her drunk on stream before.
She seemed extra enraged.
I have literally never once had a negative interaction with her. So it's always a little weird when somebody says something that's wholly negative. Because I personally have a hard time imagining it. But she's a person. But I think it'd be wild if she was drunk on stream.
I've
I
seen her
sincerely
get
doubt it.
mad a couple times, and it's always been if she felt somebody was attacking her personally.
It's understandable.
She felt
Like,
that
not
she was being
necessarily.
misread, and then Prime
Yeah.
steelmanned and then said, "Good girl,"
Oh,
jokingly,
boy.
and then the enragement went so much harder.
Oh no.
Yeah, I was like, uh-oh, when you said it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. I'm a boomer, and I know not to say that.
You know, I don't believe in gender at all, but I know better than to ask a woman how old she is, how much she weighs. Like they,
Yeah, sure. Yeah, there
Or
are
if they're
rules.
pregnant.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like I've had
sure.
women
Yeah.
say, "Guess how old I am?" I'm like, "No, I'm not gonna do that. I've been married a total of
Or
3
always guess
times. I know
way
better.
younger.
Not doing it. No, I'm not doing. Because then they'll go, "Oh, come on now." They don't let you get out of that shit. No, you just want you're looking for a reason to get mad at me. We're getting along just fine right now, and for some reason you want to get mad at somebody. It ain't gonna be me. Ask him. He's stupid. Not me. Uh, yeah, I'm not. I ain't crazy. I ain't got a death wish.
That was a lot of words to just tell
Especially
me that
when
you actually believe in gender.
she's
Also,
already
hi.
enraged. Yo, what up, Parallax?
I think that cashier does, and I know that if she does, I'm not asking. I'm not guessing her age or her weight.
Yo, I haven't seen this video. Can I see it?
Oh, it's up.
This sounds incredible.
What
Sounds like
It's
video?
good
up.
content.
I'll post it if you want to see that at some
Sounds like
point.
S-tier content. Yo, yeah.
Oh, it is.
Damn, bro.
I'll give you just that part.
It's just like, I mean, this is most relevant to places like France, right?
I would think so,
This question.
but it actually happened in Minneapolis.
I don't know what everybody's talking about.
Oh, all right,
the-
Minneapolis.
the-
That makes sense because there's like big, Muslim communities down there.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
the actual
How large?
topic.
How large is Apollos that they had to make a mini one?
Apparently large enough for everybody to think we need a second part.
We need a mini Apollos.
Sorry, I was just googling how to boot somebody from someone else's Discord call.
I was gonna say, Rich, you are old enough to be laughing at that joke, and I'm
Excellent.
honestly offended that you're not.
Well, I'm just
It's an
resisting the
epic dad
urge to
joke.
tell you the etymology of MINNE being different than MINA, but I'm
Do it. Do
Oh
it.
God! Honestly,
I'm
resisting the urge to punch
I'm
someone
resisting
through a
it.
camera. I understand the resistance to urges now. Respect.
yeah, exactly.
All right. Jesus.
Oh, that was a solid dad joke. And for Rich to just explain out the dad joke to its base core, it couldn't get any more amazing.
The only thing that was missing was a. Do you get it? Do you get it?
That'll come. That'll come. Just wait.
Like most dads, it'll come.
Good for
Ooh,
dads.
got
How do you think they
talent.
become dads?
Oh yeah, they're already dads, so maybe not so lucky anymore.
Rozzy, I'm a little disappointed. You should have figured that out.
What do you mean? Just figured that out?
No, you should have. You should have already had it figured out. Dads do be coming. Oh, I've seen this.
God, it's a bunch of dad jokes all in one.
She was definitely drunk. Why do we care? What's the debate?
I don't
whether
know if she was drunk or not. I don't know if she was drunk. She seemed pretty lucid. She just seemed extra enraged. And
You mean
the alcohol could have done it.
correct and extra shitting on them, and it was awesome.
Oh, yeah, it was awesome. I was
CTVs
reveling in it.
No, so I was DMing Kyla. I'll tell you right now. She was drunk.
Cool.
She wasn't like blacked out. She was drunk. She was entirely lucid. CTV's a moron, and he got what he deserved.
Based.
God.
What did he get?
Or he got what he wanted, right? Like, isn't that kind of what he wants? Like, he memes and he kind of
No,
progressively
no,
memes
I'm not
and tries
sure
to
if
piss
he's-
people off.
I don't know if
No,
he's
he
memeing
is
or
trying
stupid. I'm
to
not
get-
sure.
no, He is.
I genuinely don't know when I
back.
say that.
No, he is trying to come back into the space. That's why he has been coming. He came on to Ty's show. He tried going on to Alexa's show. He has tried going on several shows now.
Get
and
him
he
on
has
my
been
show.
He has been pasted every time.
What did he
You
do?
can send that. Send a swastika to a Jewish person.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Oh,
he sent,
fuck!
And then denied that it was a swastika.
Yeah,
It was a Tibetan good luck charm, obviously.
no. He sent trans flags, transgender pride flags in the shape of a swastika to "I'm really important," a Jewish person.
Jesus.
Are they also trans?
Christ.
No, just Jewish. So it wasn't.
Well, then they won't be offended by how many times we've said Jesus Christ reacting to this.
Well, no, but the thing is IRI wasn't offended by the trans flags. He was offended by the swastika because he's not trans. He didn't take the trans insult out of it. He took the Jewish insult out of it because that's the part of his identity that was getting to him. You know, when that was put out, to trans people on Twitter the same night, it was the trans shit. They didn't even notice the swastika. They noticed, that he was being a dick with the trans flag. It's what your identity,
Yeah, no, I understand. I
forces you
understand
to
it is.
see.
It's
But
being
the
a
thing
dickhead
is
with
how
an
do you
extra
send
layer
a
of
swastika?
publicity.
How do you send a swastika to a Jewish guy and expect to ever come back from that?
Well, even the trans
Well-
thing, like that using trans flags for something shitty is offensive to trans people. Sending a swastika to a Jew is kind of
Yeah.
akin to a death threat.
If not that, at least
Yeah.
akin to saying a slur. Yes.
I mean, it could
At the
certainly
very
feel
least.
like a threat. Yeah, it's reasonable for it to feel like a threat. That's insane.
Yeah, and after that, because everybody got pissed with him, he then tried to monetize the death of a friend by trying
That was
to
the
get,
one.
by trying to get people to come live on his stream who did not know that Colonel Dan had died and revealed that he had died live on the air to them
That's hot
against
garbage.
against the wishes of the family.
Wow, what a fuck!
Ooh.
What a
So,
a
like I said-
shitty guy.
Like I said, you
That's
don't
CTV is a
come
piece of
back
shit.
from this. Yeah, you don't come back from this. And so Not So Erudite is very much aware of a lot of this because she is friends with a lot of these streamers and shit and knows the backstory and shit that was going on. So I guarantee you that was very much in her mind as she was nailing his ass to the wall.
I want to talk to him about why he thinks that people
He'll
want him to
blame it
come
on the
back.
alcohol.
No, why
blame
people
it on-
want him to come back.
Oh, he'll
I'm
just
not
say he
willing to
has
comment
people
on
that want him to come
anything-
back, like Rob Noor and all the other fucking right-wing loons that nobody wants to deal with
Well,
anymore.
Rob's retarded too. That makes sense.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
that's
he'll
what- that-
find an
that will be
audience
his
with
claim.
them for sure. It's just when he tries to cross over that he'll have trouble.
No, because even the right-wing spaces don't want to deal with him for the most part. You like Ty let him come on, and once we started pasting him, he left, and Ty was like,
No,
that
I don't
happened."
mean people who happen to be on the right. I mean people like Rob will be fine with them.
Yeah.
Oh, I think even Rob will get sick of his ass. It's okay. Let me put it this
Well,
way.
maybe because the
C- C-
memes like he's not
CTV
serious
I don't know.
enough or something.
Rob's pretty
Well,
insufferable
maybe,
too.
but I agree. But CTV is the proverbial toddler who, even though they have burned their hand on the stove, thinks they can touch the stove again. He will continue to push every line he can until he gets booted out of communities. He has done this to every community except Dylan's. And he finally crossed the line with Dylan's when he did the IRI shit.
Mm.
because
so he was pretty
IRI
much already on the outs. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. He fucked around. I mean, dude, he pissed off Queen Alexa. Again, this is not something you come back from easily.
That's hard. That's got to be hard to do. Queen is she tough.
Mhm.
She real
she
tough.
don't-
Saying.
And she does not take offense easily. And he came into her channel and she was like, yeah, fuck you, get out. And like fucking, yeah.
That's like making me mad hard. I don't think
Yeah.
I've ever flipped out on anybody on stream. I don't think.
I
I
will-
just said that's making me
this
mad
is
hard. How hard is it making you?
No, but it's like if I had been a streamer,
Mad
like
hard.
jumping in panels
Mad
at that point in
hard.
time when this was going on, this would have been my first Kinnison rant.
Rich,
I'd have
you
been
will
like,
laugh at
how
one of my
the
bad jokes
fuck?
tonight.
How
Just
the
to be
fuck do you people still associate with this piece of shit? Like, there would have been a full
I won't be
Sam
long.
Kinison.
I'm probably gone in about 10 minutes at any rate.
Oh.
Oh, well, yeah. What else you got going on today?
I have a class with some of my California students in about 10 minutes.
Oh, what's the subject? Like,
Well, it's Lincoln Douglas debate, and the topic for this month and next month is open borders.
Ew.
that should be
Interesting.
And
Okay.
these are your California kids. So yeah, this will be
Yeah.
very nuanced debate on the subject.
Well, I mean, I don't think within the United States, there's not really a big ideological difference between all of my students. Debaters tend to be pretty progressive.
Oh, it's not that,
so-
but because they're from California and open borders has been something they have considered many times on the southern portion of California. It'll be something these kids will have a lot of nuanced takes because their parents,
they'll have
their
perspectives.
uncles, yeah,
Yeah.
we'll
They'll have
have talked
perspective.
about it, etc. So they'll have different perspectives than most other teams.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't. I mean, we've already started, and they haven't. They're pretty young, like they're high school freshmen, so they don't really have a whole lot of opinions on it. They were a little surprised to hear the topic at the beginning. They were like, "What?" But then once we got into it, like they assumed that they would be negative when they started, because to most people, like the idea of borders being open like makes no sense. Then I had to explain how open borders works within the EU, like France and Italy. You don't have to show a passport or anywhere in the EU. Once you're in.
It
So
doesn't
you
make
wanna
sense
just-
to most people. Like
you
on
wanna
Iran.
It does,
Start,
most people, yeah, you guys can go ahead and say, yeah, most people just no. Most people are
Well,
negative on that topic.
I want to let
Okay.
you get first statement since you're leaving real quick, so at least get a taste
Okay,
of the
yeah,
insight
ask
you
the
may
question.
be delivering. So here we go. Starting the panel up. Hamlin University, a private liberal arts school in St. Paul, Minnesota, has reportedly declined to renew the contract of a professor who showed their students a medieval Islamic depiction of the Prophet Muhammad. On October 6, 2022, the adjunct professor, who has been identified as Erica Lopez Prater, displayed the image during an online lecture. The incident gained traction after a student in attendance, Aram Wedatala, president of the university's Muslim Student Association, raised the issue with the university administrators following a conversation with the professor. So a teacher has been fired for showing a depiction in a piece of artwork of the Prophet Muhammad. Should this be possible? Should this be something that should be allowed for all religions? Is this something that we want in America?
Okay, yeah, let me just start by saying there is something unique about this. And it's not a good thing that it's unique, but it is. And that is that there is a risk. If you look at the Charlie Hebdo incident in France, where all those people were murdered because of this very incident, if you look at other people who've been attacked for a variety of reasons, even within the United States, most recently Salman Rushdie, as a result of some of his talks and stuff like that, I think you can understand where the university is coming from. It's not. Now, I understand that if you're an individual person like this professor, you can take that risk onto yourself, and that's one thing. But I think probably people at this university were thinking of potential risks to people at the university itself, right? So if there were a mass attack there, like there was at Charlie Hebdo, it wouldn't be just that professor paying the cost of what he chose to do. It would be a lot of people potentially at that university. That said, there's something to be said about having the courage to fight for certain rights. And within university spaces, there should be protection for many different kinds of speech, within reasonable limits. And I think that saying that you cannot show a depiction of Muhammad is not a reasonable limit. So there's a level of risk there. Maybe there needs to be increased security if something like that were to become controversial. Or maybe it wouldn't have become controversial at all had the university not responded in the way that it did. And now they're sort of highlighting this, and now they can't go back because now it's going to be a big thing. I'm not sure which of those things are true, but I am certain that images of the Prophet Muhammad get shown all the time within the United States, and they don't become like big front page, viral moments the way this has. So I think probably what they did was they created a little bit of their own disaster with regards to the way that they responded to this. And although I would never tell a university that they can't make a decision like this on their own, unless it's a public school, maybe. I still would hope that a university would like have the courage to make a decision that defends freedom rather than cowers, even at some risk to themselves as an institution.
If you don't mind, I would only add to the context that you provided earlier on that you are indeed correct regarding the uniqueness of this scenario. I also think it's really important to contextualize that while there is a risk to displaying images of Muhammad, and we've obviously seen historically that this exists, there is not supposed to be ideologically amongst all but the absolute most adherent sects of Islam anything against depicting Muhammad in a way that is not considered to be a way that would be derogatory to Muslims. So historical art, which is what was shown, is typically accepted in most Muslim circles at this point. Like it has been for a long, long, long time. And that's the thing that gets me about this is while your context is correct, when we think of Charlie Hebdo, we're talking about a comic that was depicted in a mocking manner. And they did it to be provocative. That's what Charlie Hebdo does. These are quite literally medieval artworks. You know what I mean? It's a completely different thing. These were shown in the context of history, and they had also been warned on the syllabus ahead of time. Like there's just so much about this that gave everybody involved an opportunity to prevent this ridiculous outcome. That it's frustrating to me that we're gonna look at it in the same context of something like Charlie Hebdo. I don't think that that's fair.
Yeah, no, I agree. And before I go, I'll just respond to that quickly. But I do think that if you look at the context of what was happening back then at that time, there were all of these sort of theocratic governments that were airing, like, for instance, there was another person who, like, this is a much more offensive thing, of course, but there was somebody who was burning Qurans in Florida. It was a Christian preacher.
Of course.
And it was creating riots like throughout the Middle East because like very conservative
riots in Florida too.
Very conservative, right. Very conservative, like theocracies were sort of whipping up the response. And of course, the American media also could have just ignored what was happening instead of plastering it all over the place for views at that time. So, I mean, there's plenty of blame to go around. But I think also with Charlie Hebdo, yeah, you're right. Like there's that's not every sect of Islam like has these sorts of beliefs about iconoclastism, and but there are those who do, and I've spoken to some here on Twitch. So has like Jack and Letha were on for one of those conversations, but also I went to a Catholic university back in the day, and I talked to a lot of Muslims that were at that school that were exchange students who also like said, oh, you know, if you are comfortable with these things, like these images of Muhammad, then you're not truly a Muslim. Like there's this gatekeeping that goes on in certain fundamentalist like circles, and those aren't small numbers of people. I think they are considerably smaller within the United States. I've had a lot of Muslim students, for instance, in my school, and they've always been like more on the liberal side. And so I definitely see that difference here in the United States. But I don't think the risk is zero.
Can I respond to all of this?
Yes, yeah, please do. Although I do have to go. Sorry.
All right. Well, it's nice to meet you, by the way. I'm Elder Drazi.
Yeah. Thanks. It was great to meet you too. I'm sure I'll see you like in a longer form context eventually.
So I would have given intros earlier, but I knew we were pressed for time and I wanted that wisdom. Appreciate it, Rich.
So there's a couple things that I think are really important to consider here. First is that it's not true that most Muslims don't find this to be offensive. And while the Quran does not explicitly say that you can't do it, it is part of the dogma of most sects of Islam not to, because the Prophet Muhammad himself, in the lore, if you will, struck down statues and spoke against any imagery of the divine or akin to it because it encourages idolatry, and you should not be you should never be visualizing an idol in your head. You should be praying to God. So this distracts you from praying to God. To see an image of Muhammad like that, you now have an image in your head instead of the imagelessness of God, is essentially the reason why this is bad. So, and obviously there's students in the school that were upset by it. The problem that I think that exists
One-
here is that this isn't just, I don't think this is strictly freedom of speech. It's you're actually hurting Islamic students. If I don't know if any Islamic students were in the class when it happened, but if you're Muslim and you see that, there is damage done to you, where the punishment, it doesn't come from here; it comes from God, and I think that's torture in a way. It would be like feeding a Muslim pork without them knowing it. Like you can't
I'm
not
so
have
glad
it.
you
That's-
took it
no,
to that.
no, no,
point.
no,
I'm
no,
so
no,
glad.
no,
hold on.
no,
I'm so
no,
glad.
no.
No, hold on. I'm so glad you took it to that point because in the Quran, if you are forced to eat pork, either to survive starvation or because of forced by your captors, etc., it is not considered sullying, etc. Nor is it being shown something in an educational context. And the only time it would be considered a blaspheme is if it was being shown in reverence, as if you were actually performing ideology or idolatry. Sorry. So I mean, they're both are correct technically. Yeah.
No, I was
and-
just hoping to
but-
get there. I wasn't
yeah,
trying to.
yeah, but no, you're right. But that's what I'm getting at. It's like there has to be intent to it, even in the scriptures of the Quran. This is, by the way, this is true of the Bible of tenets of Christianity, that you actually can deny God in pursuit of survival. So I mean, this is in all of the Abrahamic faiths. When it is forced upon you, it is not sin.
So, but here's the thing, though.
Moreover, hold on,
Oh.
you've also drawn a false equivalence. It is not at all akin to just forcing someone to eat pork that is a Muslim. The difference would be that it would be like handing them a burger and labeling it, "This is fucking pork. If you open it 10 minutes from now, there will be pork in it. And if you bite it, it'll be pork." And then they open it and go, "Fuck, it's pork!" It was on the syllabus. There was a warning ahead of time. She sent out an email warning to every student who registered for the class. He knew weeks and weeks ahead of time Muhammad was going to be on that screen.
Oh,
And then he went,
okay.
"It's pork! Oh no!"
Well, I wasn't aware of that. However, I don't think that the argument that the technically it's not bad because the Quran gives you like a catch for it. Muslims aren't any different than Christians in that they have their strong ideas about their religion. Like each one walks around with their own little version of what Islam is, just like Christians do. And if you're,
Right,
if
but
you're
how
somebody
many-
who's really upset about it, that means that you believe that something bad has happened to you. And
All right,
it
time out.
happens
Can we
to you
hone in on that real
spiritually.
quick? About the individualism of Islam and kind of the different ideologies that might exist within it. Where are the world's majority of Muslims located?
In the Middle East. Sorry, I thought it was rhetorical.
No, it's actually Indonesia. It was rhetorical. The vast
Is that not
majority
part of
of
it? I'm
the
bad at
practicing,
geography.
No, Indonesia's the islands in the South Pacific, or
Yeah, the
technically
vast-
Western Pacific, but
majority of the Muslim practicing people in the world are in Indonesia. They're not in the Middle East, and they haven't
by
been
the
for
way,
a very long time.
another huge population here in the U.S.
So
Yes.
to that point, Desperado mentioned in the chat, Minneapolis is his alma mater. MPLS St. Paul has one of the largest Somali refugee communities in the U.S. They are more fundamentalist Muslims. They were likely behind the movement.
And that is perfectly fine, and that context is great to understand, like the social setting it took place in. However, it is all to still ignore the simplicity of this. It's not that complex. We are giving this far too much nuance. This is over charitability to the actual discussion itself. It was on the syllabus. Everybody was given
Warned multiple
both
times.
ahead of time on the syllabus
Oh, yeah.
and emails.
Brief
And
point
she
that nobody
even-
mentioned.
She even
Nobody would
emailed
have
him
faced repercussions.
afterwards.
Yeah, and nobody would have faced repercussions for skipping the class.
Correct. Yes, that was also provided ahead of
It
time.
would have been.
He
It would
could've
have
skipped class
been
if he would've
considered
found
a.
it offensive.
Yeah, you would have been hit with the bell curve average. Is what
Sure.
your grade would have been for the day.
Then I rescind my argument on that part because I I didn't know that.
In every way, you had a way out. He literally chose
It's not
to
your
attend the
fault.
class.
Articles ignored it.
Yeah,
We
he's-
dug
Yeah.
into it deeper.
Yeah. He sought out being offended. He sought out a reason to be offended, waited till that day, did exactly what he wanted to do.
Or
caused
he
stir.
mentioned it. Maybe not even sought it out. Well, let's give the guy some real charitability here.
I don't
He
know.
could. He could. No, hold on. He could.
I've read enough to not give him any.
No. I will give him charitability here. Maybe he, when he got done, he was a little irritated about it after class. And he went home and talked to some friends, and they whipped him up into a frenzy.
Yeah, maybe
that is.
she
By the
emailed him
way,
and
how
said-
often has that happened to all four of us here? Have we been minorly irritated about something, and then talk to a friend, and by the end of that conversation of talking to a friend, man, we were pissed about it.
Sure. But how many times have you then, like, after you're really pissed about someone, the person says, hey, I'm sorry this thing happened. Let me explain why. And then you kind of calm the fuck down, like, most of the
Generally,
time.
yeah.
Because she emailed him and said, hey, I'm really sorry if that image offended you. And I know it was left on the screen for some time. I will remind you that it was on the syllabus ahead of time, that it was going to be there. And that there is a reason I am showing you these images. I am not doing so without merit. These are 14th century art pieces, guys. This is not a depiction of Muhammad that you're supposed to be jerking off to or fucking worshiping. It's just not that. It's not that.
Well, I mean, and furthermore, we have depictions of Muhammad on our Supreme Court building, for fuck's sake. I mean, we have depictions of, but with his face, by the way. It's not even like a faceless fucking, Islamic scholar. It is Muhammad with the Quran in his hand and the fucking scepter in the other. Like, I mean, it is fucking Muhammad. No argument about this. Like, it is even commented on by former presidents and chiefs of staff and shit about it. Like, they've written letters about the fact that this is there.
Yeah, the fact that this is
that
like,
would be
I'm
a
not
greater
mad that we're
argument.
discussing it, but I'm mad that we're discussing it. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah, you're mad that we are forced to have this conversation
we
because
shouldn't
somebody
be.
did this
Yeah.
dumb shit.
It's
Yes.
so fucking absurdly stupid.
Furthermore,
that's
it's
kind of
an
the point.
educational center. No education center. Fine, you want to censure? Have a conversation with the
Fucking
teacher.
Yeah.
Fine. But you should never be firing an educator who did nothing that outside of the education practice.
Correct me if
Refusing
I'm
to
wrong.
renew their contact, Drowsy.
Yeah.
I got you. It's okay.
That
I
is
got you. It's so
that is
different.
that's meaningfully different.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Not in education. It's not in education. That's called getting
Yeah.
fired in education. My
Yeah.
wife works in higher education. That's called getting fired.
This
Okay.
is literally how it
Only
works.
thing in
Do
education
you know how
that
hard it
matters
is to have
tenure.
your contract terminated?
The only
Not
thing in
even tenure.
education that
Yeah,
matters
look,
is getting
yeah,
to the
but-
point of tenure or permanency. Whatever your college, whatever
Calls
your
it.
institution offers, just fucking get me there, please.
Yeah,
Because the
but
moment you
but
do,
tenure.
they can't do this shit anymore.
Yeah, tenure is different, but contract. You either get your contract terminated. By the way, extremely hard to do. Like, you have to fuck up really hard to have a contract terminated before its conclusion. Or they call you in and they say, this is your notice that we will not be continuing your contract at the end of the year, so you can seek employment elsewhere. Like, it is the equivalent of an exit interview of get the fuck out, but we can't fire you without paying you a boatload of fucking money. Like, that's really what it boils down to.
Absolutely. So I work in sales. How we do it is we just start scheduling you the exact opposite hours you ask for. Oh, you want to go home every night and see your kid? Guess who's closing? It sucks, but that's how you have to do it because that's laws are centered around, like, not giving the person the ability to actually terminate the position.
Oh shit! In Michigan, you can. You really gotta do something fucked up to get in trouble for firing somebody. We're right to work state, which is the opposite.
But
of what
this would still
shockingly.
be slightly different with university employees. It just is. It's because of the way the university system works, the fact that they operate on employment contracts rather than employment based on hourly wages. It's weird. I have a friend who's an adjunct professor down in Georgia, and he explained a lot of this shit to me, like, as he was like going through like getting the jobs. Like, this is stuff I learned like a long time ago, and I'm like, this is fucking insane. How the fuck do you deal with this? Like, getting paid like once a quarter. That's another fun thing that some educators have to go through.
Yeah.
You know.
Thankfully, that's not how all institutions do it, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
and
this
so
is
education contracts are really weird. They fit into a very fucking niche subcategory of employment law, even in right to work states.
yep. Yeah, this is
Um,
very much just over fucking woke bullshit. Yeah,
do you think
just
that
is.
uh I guess the only real argument you guys all said a lot of things that I didn't know. However, if the university was afraid of something happening to them, I don't think that it's insane for them to try to get ahead of it and distance themselves from it because the
Get
student
ahead of
was
it,
making a
fine, but
statement.
not fire. Not fire. Like I
Yeah,
said, censure. Have her come out and do a public apology. Do all the other shit that you do, but you don't fire an educator for educating, especially
I
when they didn't
actually
do something outside of the fucking norm or outside of like something crazy. Like they weren't doing anything crazy.
Yeah, I
This is
don't feel
something
super
in
strong
most other.
about it. It's
so
just
Yeah,
I
that
I'm just
feel
saying that's just
I
my
do.
personal opinion.
I feel
Yeah,
completely strongly in the opposite way. I think that the education institution should stand up for the institution of education as a foundation, as an institution as it is. The most appropriate response from that university should have been plain and simple. Our educators are here to educate. This woman did her job. She provided any student who could potentially be offended all ample notice and opportunity to not be exposed to the offensive imagery. And she lived up to the standards we are asking her to live up to in performing her job. She is an educator. If anybody is offended by the material of the class, they have the ability to not take it. They also have the ability to not attend that class and take X supplemental material. But as a liberal arts, because they are a liberal arts institution, as a liberal arts institution, it is our responsibility to teach our students to critically think. And they should have made a very clear and declarative statement along the lines of one of the things we ought to be critically thinking about in this scenario is that it is often misinterpreted that all Muslims are offended by the imagery of Muhammad and that the imagery of Muhammad is wholesale banned. This is not true. There have been artistic
I didn't say
depictions of
that.
Muhammad.
well, and I
No,
was
no,
actually going to bring
I'm
that up
saying
to
the
you, Drazi, too.
university.
So
No, I'm not saying you. I'm saying this is how the university's response should have been something along these lines. The university is an education institution. Take this as an opportunity to educate, not fucking kowtow. Make a statement that
I will
declares very clearly that this is okay.
I'll partially disagree with you there because PR is still something they have to consider. So like I said, I can understand the censure, but it should have full stop ended before termination. That should never have been on the table.
I don't even think censure. I think censure should have been off the table.
I
The
agree.
universe, the bitch
Wait,
should have
hold
got
on,
fucking
Parallax.
raised.
You were talking about this from a moral perspective. I agree with you. I am now talking about real world perspective of this university being able to maintain staying in business. And so yeah, I can understand doing a little bit of fucking, apology, you have her come out, do that shit. Fine, whatever. That aside, going to what something you said earlier, Drowsy, you said that a majority are offended.
Yes,
And,
there's a
and
lot that
I
aren't.
I'm not saying no, I'm not saying that I have trouble believing it's a majority when a majority don't even wear headscarves, which is a more deeply held
It's nowhere
tenet.
near a majority. It's nowhere
Yeah,
near a majority. It's
that's
like such a super minority.
well, I wouldn't even say super minority. Even if it's 30%, it's a minority, but it's still large. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, it's 30%, just for the sake of this, because none of us know these actual numbers. I'm going to give it some pretty big numbers just to be fucking generous here. If it's 30% of all Muslims who are offended by the imagery, or 30% of all Muslims who are highly offended by Muslims who don't wear headscarves, that's a problem, yes, but that doesn't make it something that anybody outside of the faith should have to consider. It doesn't matter what a majority of Muslims believe, even, because I'm not a fucking Muslim. I don't have to live the tenets of the Muslim faith, even when
Yeah,
talking
it's
about the Muslim faith. I don't have to live by the tenets of the Catholic faith, even though I was raised Catholic.
Wait,
When talking about the Catholic faith, I don't have to live. And this is a tenet of the Muslim faith to not show the face, not show our artistic expression of it. It's not even expressly forbade in the Quran. It is a dogmatic belief. I'm not going, and furthermore, again, I have trouble believing it is a majority I have no numbers to say otherwise. But even if it is a majority, I have trouble believing it's a majority when a majority of Muslim women do not wear the headscarf, which is a more deeply held core belief of the faith.
There
again,
is empirical data on this. It's not even close to a majority. It's like not even close.
So we got some input from Desperado again. Hamlin is a Methodist-inspired private university. There was probably the chance that PR had fallout with the implied Christians being anti-Muslim. The Somali community is very politically active in the Twin City area as well. They are very well connected within their communities.
Listen, I love the perspective Desperado is providing in terms like all this information is really cool. Changes nothing. That
For
just
context, just for
yeah,
context.
no, I get it. It just makes them bigger pussies to me. Like you're actually making the university stand out worse to me. I'm like, oh, really? So you were more afraid than you should have been, even more averse to standing up for the fucking tenets of education. Sick. Like I don't know. There's nothing that's gonna give me context that's make this even remotely okay.
Interesting.
I think that I think that what am I saying right? Jackander?
It's Jacanadar, but everyone just calls him Jack.
Jackander? Okay.
I call him
Yeah.
Jackass. It's easy.
Yeah, that works too. I mean, and I'm a chef, so literally, dude, you could call me just about anything, and you're not even going to insult me. I just don't care.
I don't think that I have. There was some things that I misunderstood about the story to begin with, and I don't really think that I have a strong difference in opinion about the outcome of it. But when you're talking about like what is or isn't okay, it seems like if you don't agree with something, you shouldn't also like. I guess
No,
like
it is.
being
If
more
I am
commonly
not a
decent to
member
people.
of that faith, if
Yeah,
I'm not a
sure.
member of
I'm
that
not a
faith,
member of
hold on.
Christianity,
But
but
what I'm saying is, if I'm not a member of that faith, I'm not held to that tenet. For example, my mother-in-law is very highly Christian. My wife is a Methodist, by the way. I'm pagan, but so it's like very interesting. My mother-in-law is very, very devout. Most people avoid cursing around my mother-in-law because of her Christianity, the fact they know she's devout, and so on and so forth. My mother-in-law and I will fucking curse like drunken sailors on the back porch. Like,
Yeah, I was
like
gonna say,
just
fuck
sitting there
that.
talking. Like there is a dramatic difference between their faith, the way the tenets they believe. She understands. I respect her faith. I will go to church and like help her set stuff up, do all that stuff. I just don't go to service because I think it's disrespectful for me to be there as a non-believer in her faith. But I will help set up like cook drives, all that kind of shit. Like she understands all this. She does not expect me to live by any core tenet of her faith. Any of them. Not a
that's
single one.
fine.
Despite the fact that, and here's the thing, nor should she. This is Muslims expecting non-Muslims to live by a tenet of their faith of not depicting the Prophet Muhammad, especially when you're talking about 14th century artists who would not even have been fucking aware of a vast majority of these dogmatic beliefs when making these paintings. Like it's just
I'll push
to
back
hold
a little bit. I'm actually
I didn't
gonna
even
take
get to say the thing that I was trying to say though. I feel like
Oh,
you're
No,
responding to something I didn't
Go
even
ahead,
get to say
Eldrazi.
yet.
No,
Go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying I am asserting my point so that you understand very clearly. As non-believers, we should not have to live by it. We can choose
Sure,
to be
that wasn't really a
respectful of it,
concern of mine.
but the edge.
I
My
don't think
whole
that's. I
point
don't
of
think
this
that's what
is
it. I don't think that's what
educator.
this is. I don't think that's what this
Educator
is.
absolves all, and that was what I said originally. This is you focused in on another point that my core focus is as an educator,
Well,
whether
I
they are Muslim or
talked
not.
about one so that I could build to what I was gonna say.
Okay.
What I was going to
And
say is I was curious as to how far out you think that decency and respect for other people our actions should have. Like, if I'm going to go to, if I know that there's going to be a Christian at somebody's house who's like very devout, like, how fucked up is it if I wear a t-shirt where Jesus is getting fucked in the ass?
Okay, see, but
I mean,
that's
oh, hold
Wait,
on,
no,
hold on,
wait,
hold on.
don't relate it back.
No,
I'm strictly just trying to figure out how
yeah,
much
yeah,
decent people afford
no,
other
I was
people
answering.
in terms of
No,
religion.
I was
Okay.
answering. That's openly trying to be offensive. I would say I probably would
Yeah.
not go that far. I would say, but if for example, my mother-in-law overheard me having some of the conversation I have on Twitch about the Catholic Church or Christians, or Methodist, etc., and she got offended by it, I'd be like, "Sorry, Nana. This is the truth. Here's the history. We can talk about it, etc." But yeah, that is exactly how that conversation is going to go. I would
really
not
like
go
it.
so
Sorry,
far
Nana,
as
this
to.
is the truth.
That's just it
It's
is
fair.
because
It's fair.
yeah, and
That's
by the way, and
absolutely how it
she would
goes.
then sit down and have that conversation with me, and as long as my father-in-law didn't walk in the room, it'd be all right. Because my father-in-law would just be like, "Nah, shut the fuck up. That's not true." Because he's old school. Like he's just like, "No, fuck you. I'm older than you. It's time for you to shut up."
Yeah, I was just really curious where you personally draw the line when it comes to
I
like,
won't even
respecting other
bow
people's
my
feelings.
head at grace.
I don't either.
My in-laws are like that. They literally will say grace over every meal. I won't even bow my head at grace.
I'd find it
That's
personally offensive if they
astonishing.
try to get me to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, like, I'm pretty staunch in my beliefs. I try not to be intentionally offensive, but if I'm accidentally offensive, the most you're going to get is, "I'm sorry. Why did you find this offensive?" Oh, yeah, that's just the truth. If it's the truth, if it's something I said jokingly, it's yeah, sorry, I was making a joke. I should have been more careful because you were around. That's it. That's the most they're going to get is an apology, not me stopping from doing it.
So to move away from this school in this particular situation, let's talk about all depictions of Muhammad in any aspect of society and how things should be handled. Should some network or some entity want to use depictions of Muhammad? Should they be allowed to?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Provided, and I would say for the purposes of the moral portion of this discussion, as long as they are not intentionally trying to be offensive, going with Drazi's example towards
Yeah,
Jesus,
absolutely.
as long as it's not going that far, yeah, absolutely. Especially in an educational standpoint, full stop, absolutely.
Well, like in the case of like the candles where you have Jesus on them, even though that's not really what Jesus looks like, but I'm not in that.
White Jesus? We love white Jesus. My brother just hit the chat. He gonna love the white Jesus references.
Yeah, white Jesus on candles in Hispanic grocery stores. And could that be Muhammad on candles and other paraphernalia along the way?
No,
I mean,
definitely
I wouldn't
not.
make it. I wouldn't make it, but if somebody else made it, I wouldn't be pissed.
So the only time where this really comes up is that if an institution receives money, if it's funded by the government, there's a couple laws that are in place that have to be followed. One is that it cannot particularly promote any faith. It cannot so like as in like if it does promote any, it must promote any others equally if it does do it. And it cannot it either has to like ban all of like religious whatever we're talking about. If it's like discussion or symbols, it has to ban them all or allow them all. These are the laws. I know this because I got kicked out of school for wearing a Satanist t-shirt.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we know you converted me to Satanism already because
So-
Satanism based is all just
No,
about love.
dude, I'm with you.
It is
And here's
though.
No, Satanism's about self-love. Y'all. It's
Why?
not about Satan.
No.
I
Why?
thought that was
No.
here.
It is,
Please,
it is.
no.
It is. Hold on, we will convert you to, my friend.
It
Even
really
though
is
I'm
one of
not
the most
possible.
loving, caring, positive religions that are out there, to be perfectly
Wait a
honest.
minute.
It's crazy. I didn't know this
Leaky?
shit. Like, I'm not
Hold on.
actually a Satanist, but
Wait,
I'm like,
Leaky,
yeah,
We'll talk about this
Leaky.
afterward.
Hold
hook
on,
me up
Leaky.
with this.
I-
Yeah, I
I'm
love
just-
this.
I'm
I'm
just gonna-
awesome.
I'm gonna drop the fucking wrecking ball through your brain real quick. You were
Okay.
already pretty much an atheist or a Satanist. You just don't call yourself one. You live by all the core tenets of the faith. You
That's
just
how
won't
that
call
works. No
yourself.
shit,
But I
Jack.
don't
You did
take
not
up
break
the
no wrecking ball.
baggage.
My brain just
There's no
bounced
baggage.
off,
They don't
dog.
believe in Lucifer
So-
in that way. It's not the way that works. This
When
is
you
what
hear
I'm getting at.
Satanist, you think devil worship.
I don't want to talk about Aaron Ra right now.
No, we talking to Anton LaVey.
2211.
Blanche
Not a
Barton.
Bible cut.
I'll get into this with you guys after we finish this discussion on Muhammad being all
Okay.
over the place and what Muslims are going to do about it.
Like I said, I would not make those products myself. But if somebody else wanted to make a fucking Mohammed candle, like there's like 50 bajillion Jesus candles at every swap meet, I mean, all right. I mean, I think you're going to face some troubles, but that's more power to you. because I mean, as long as, especially like those candles are showing reverence.
Therein
So-
lies the problem, is that you're going to face troubles. So if you do anything
You're
for any other religion, those troubles don't seem to happen. If you
Really?
put Buddha on one, if you put any other religious figure, for the most
Oh,
part,
no,
as
no,
far as I know,
no. But you're failing to understand is no, those troubles come. They just come from a different direction. They don't come from the faithful. They come from other people who hate every other faith, who are going to have a problem with whatever the fuck you put out that's not Jesus.
okay.
Well,
Well,
Muhammad,
I'm
yeah.
speaking specifically from the people for which this applies to.
Well, that's my point. If you're going to face troubles either from without or within, I mean, it doesn't really matter. You're accepting risk either way. This was more why I brought that up.
Okay. Well, how does everybody else feel about that?
What exactly
can-
is the question?
If the image of Muhammad were basically allowed the same as any other religion,
Oh yeah.
the troubles that Jack entailed
Yeah, and the stuff
wouldn't
he's talking
necessarily apply.
and the stuff he's talking
So-
about, Drowsy. You know those votive candles you've seen that have
Yeah,
Jesus
yeah.
and that kind of shit, but Muhammad.
So,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
that's
think
just
that-
a weird framing because
Wouldn't
Jesus
Muslims
people
be
want Jesus
offended by that?
on there.
Yeah, Muslims wouldn't like that. Yeah, so I don't think
Yeah,
that's
people
appropriate.
making Muslim or Muhammad candles are like,
Well, no.
well,
He then
Yeah,
he
they'd be like,
then
Muslims.
brought
"Burn
up.
Muhammad,
Well, no, but he
guys,
Well, I
then
said to
brought
any
up.
paraphernalia that would be like a hijab, like whatever the case may be.
Yeah, but he also brought up
Muhammad
things like
hijabs.
Buddha.
Yo,
he-
imagine that shit. Imagine if Muslims
That's
could
like a
get down
Jesus
that
cock
hard.
ring.
No, no, that's like
it
a
says
it's, no,
premarital on it.
It's a Jesus. It's a Jesus is my homeboy trucker hat. Is what it is. It's
I mean,
exactly
kind
what
of,
it is.
but-
Like getting
I don't
down with
think
the
you're-
getting down with
I
the
don't think
Muhammad
you're-
hijab.
Elevating the thing that makes it bad along with it. Yeah.
I
Like,
agree, but no,
It's
no.
like
But
a
what I was
Jesus
getting,
cock ring that you can only fuck premaritally with.
no. But he also went into things like Buddha candles and shit like that. The thing is this
Those
is a
would be
problem
some
that is
chunky
semi-unique.
candles.
That
They
is
look like a boy.
semi-unique to Islam, where your
lot of
problem would
wax.
come from the faithful.
Yeah.
Whereas,
That's
whereas when I want to put up a candle that has dragons or this or that, if it's not in a fantasy area and it has anything to do with religion, Christians like to start fucking with you about shit. You know, I mean, this is just the truth of it. Like, even if it's fucking quote unquote silly, they will consider it fucking devil worship. I mean,
Like
you
Harry
look at-
fucking Potter. Harry fucking Potter.
Magic
Listen,
the
my
Gathering.
aunt,
I was gonna
my
go
aunt and
older
uncle,
and say
bro,
D&D,
my-
but yeah.
yes, you are. That's correct. The fucking that they actually touch on that in Stranger Things, the D&D devil worship bullshit.
I was
but
about to say, isn't
Harry-
that the whole premise of the fucking show?
Yeah, well, yeah, but like,
I've only
they get
seen
into-
part of
they-
the first-
but
I've only seen
the
part of the
D&D's the
first
whole show,
season,
but they
Frosty.
just get into the devil worship side in this most recent season. But anyway, that kind of scare that came along with it. But anyway, like in more modern context, Harry Potter. My cousins. Listen, God bless my aunt. I wish the best for her. Muhammad bless her too. Whoever you got, make the blessings come. She needs them. That's all I'm gonna say. She's not doing well. Much love to her and my uncle. It sucks that what they're going through right now. However, 20 years ago, they were shitty parents. When their kids were growing up, they were hyper religious. And they did not allow their children to read Harry Potter because it was satanic. Which, for the
I-
record, means based now. In my
I wouldn't have been allowed to read Harry Potter as a kid.
so.
Jack almost died on that.
I very rarely. Oh, I'm sorry. You're the host.
I wasn't
This
allowed to
pen-
watch the
this pen-
Smurfs.
This pen's a little harsh on the throat.
Well, in the
Why?
the laugh at the end.
Why the
Dude,
Smurfs?
There's a
They love
certain
white
character
Jesus,
named
Laura.
Gargamel who
Yeah.
would speak incantations and stir a cauldron.
Yep.
That
Okay.
was satanic imagery, and that was not allowed in my house. Same with He-Man. He calls on the power of Grayskull instead of the power of Jesus.
So I very, very rarely do this thing where somebody says something and I have a one-upper, but this is funny, and I promise you, and
Run
it's
it.
worth the preface here. I grew up in the Thumma, Michigan, which is as Alabama as it gets outside of Alabama. I was
He's
friends
not
You
with
wrong.
sound
somebody
like you're from
who was
Alabama. That checks
not-
out.
No, I do fucking not.
I'm joking. I'm
I have a
joking,
Michigan
Jossie.
accent. I
You are
had
a
a
Michigander.
friend who was not allowed to watch Beyblade because the spirits that came out of the Beyblades when they fought, whatever logic follows, but it was anti-Christian. His parents
None.
weren't smart
None.
enough to
To be
have like
clear,
a good
fucking none.
solid foundation for that
That's not
argument.
logic.
Yeah. So like he would sneak away, and like it would be like, you guys can't tell my parents that I'm playing Beyblades with you guys.
Oh,
Sorry, the old man's gonna pull the trump card on you. I had argumentations against shit like Silverhawks because it included aliens. And there
Aliens
was
makes a
only
little more
one-
sense to me.
Yeah,
There we go.
Aliens
But this
suggest
is-
that
What's
maybe
up,
God
guy?
created
No,
everything.
no, but this is what I'm getting at. It's like these people, like, they will make up a reason for anything. If they, it makes me feel icky. We will find a reason to say Jesus said it was a problem.
Yeah, Jesus doesn't like it because I don't like it.
It's
That's what it
fired
really
up.
is.
I mean,
Pretty
you know,
much.
you
I just
know
wanna
I'm
point
right,
out
'cause especially
white-
being from
Vigilante,
where you are
finally,
in
welcome.
Michigan.
The whiter your Jesus, the less fun
So-
you're allowed to have. Spitting facts.
True.
My camera doesn't like that I'm on OBS, and
No, they never like that. You usually
it
have
Yeah,
to.
see
does
the virtual
not let-
camera.
How do I?
Yeah,
What do I
you
got to
guys-
do?
You got to turn
it-
one off and turn the other on.
No,
Turn off
no,
your camera
on OBS. On
Uh,
OBS, there's this thing that says
I'm
virtual cam. You
streaming
click on
right
that.
now. Wait. Okay. Wait.
Yeah, you turn on your virtual camera through OBS and then select virtual camera via Discord, and then it'll mirror that. If you have the newer version, you can select the gear and select source when you hit
How do I
the gear and
select?
pick your
Wait.
camera.
How do I select virtual camera?
It should be on the. You know what? Here, I got
Here,
you.
I'll share my screen.
Okay.
I'm
I'll let you
retarded
go
right
ahead.
now.
I'll let you go
Okay,
ahead.
I'm like
Other
3
Drowsy,
beers
if you have
in.
the screen up.
I'm 3 beers in. I'm not like solid.
Hold on.
I'm glad you've not been watching
Since
my
I was
drinking
muted,
so
I feel
far.
much more misogynist
Dude,
than I meant
if I
it.
had weed right now, it would
She
be
said right
20
now,
times
boys.
worse. I'd be like, huh?
She said right now, boys. She said right now.
Right now.
I'm retarded right
I'm
now.
retarded as fuck.
Just now, though, guys,
24/7.
not
No,
normally.
24/7, bro. Okay, what the fuck do I do?
Are
Parallax.
you
Do you remember
at-
me following you the other day? Parallax?
Yes, of course. Of course.
Yes,
Yes.
of course.
Yes.
The
I also
homie.
remember how retarded it is that university fired
Hi,
their
look at my screen
professor.
share.
I'm retarded. Wait, where? What am
See
I
my
doing?
screen share?
Okay, one sec.
We're all gonna
Here I go.
I'm gonna go get some
I'm
water.
watching. I'm looking.
Take your time, Drowsy.
Okay,
We're
so
gonna take a second to
you should
reset. We'll
see
come back and
virtual
take that.
cam like right between start stream and start recording.
Yes.
So you click on that.
Don't laugh at me. Okay.
She's
What?
like Discord kitten.
So once you click on that, if you have the newer version, like me and Elder Drowsy do, you can also click on the gear and it'll pop this out, and you can pick any slide.
I didn't.
Like-
Okay. Scene.
Yeah, if you click on the gear, you can pick any slide or output selection.
Okay. And then what?
And then you turn your camera on Discord, and then you click the little arrow below that and select OBS virtual camera.
Sometimes I wish I had one of those little propeller hats and I could just spin it.
And that's when you
And
back
then I
the camera.
select- wait, go on the which arrow?
Yeehaw, motherfucker.
This little arrow right here.
They call me CTV.
Wait. Somebody shut up.
That was good.
Hey, you
I
know
don't-
This
what?
little thing right here.
Why don't I see it?
They should have fired that bitch. Respect him. Respect him.
Parallax,
right
shut up
next
for
to the
2
video.
seconds.
It's
They call me
right next to the
CTV.
video camera.
Wait, the OBS. Show me the OBS thing again. Wait, virtual camera. Okay, wait. Maybe that's the thing.
Wait,
Yeah,
hold on.
so
I
the
need
next
to go get
part
my
is on
North Face.
Discord. The next part is on Discord.
Discord
So-
video.
Okay, everybody, we're doing a tutorial.
I only get OBS virtual camera. Oh shit.
She's got it.
I'm okay. See? Look at what it does. Look
Okay.
at what it do.
I was about
What
to
do-
say that.
That
what do
means
I
you
do
didn't Turn it. That means you didn't turn it on because that's what it looks like when you put it
Okay.
off.
So how do I turn it on?
Like if I were to turn on virtual camera right now, that's what it would look like.
Where?
How is
So-
this not done already?
Look back at OBS.
Because I'm retarded. And I'm 3 beers in. Just give me a second. Okay?
It's time
Look
to
at-
change it up, okay?
Just
Click
give
on where
me
it
jack it
says
off for 2 seconds.
virtual
Just
camera.
like touch your dick
Listen up.
for like 5 minutes.
Okay.
Shut up. Parallax. Okay? Wait, what do I do?
Click on where it says start virtual camera.
5 seconds long
Liberals.
enough.
I did that.
It'll be blue once it's started.
I swear to God, every one of you
It will
liberals
say
is fucking
stop
retarded.
It will say
I'm
stop
not
virtual
liberal.
camera instead.
I'm not.
Hey,
Listen,
I didn't say
you're
just
making me
the
want to drink the rest of my
I
6
didn't,
pack.
I didn't say just the liberals. You're
I
retarded,
can't-
too, honey.
I
That's
can't fix
CTV,
any-
baby.
Wait,
That's
beer
CTV.
works
I
on
almost
you?
closed my stream. God,
Beer works on you? That's fantastic.
somebody!
Beer and my CTV impression ruining her.
He's killing me. I can't focus. I have
Real
no
quick.
focus right now. Listen, don't go to my stream. Grumple, shut the fuck up.
Yo,
Oh yeah, Grumple, give me the
Grumple!
drink.
after this,
Thank
when I
you for
show you some clips of
resubscribing.
CTV, this guy's fucking
Goblin
retarded. He's black.
intensifies. I
Grumple
know.
doesn't-
I'm a fucking goblin, okay?
Grumple doesn't
Look,
subscribe to
Grumple, I
me.
know you
I'm
can hear me.
Grumple's,
I know you can hear me,
Grumple's
you have no
a
right to talk.
founder badge in my channel. Grumple's a homie.
Grumple doesn't love me because I'm black.
Grumple
Damn.
doesn't love you because he's not
Hold
allowed
on.
on your server. Okay, how do I fix this? Wait,
absolutely is.
Fucking
What?
right, Lefty.
He is, he just needs to shut up.
Okay, shut up, everybody.
Identity politics.
Everybody,
I
shut
would
up.
pull the race car because I have 52 of them.
Everybody, shut up. How do I fix this OBS?
Too, okay.
How do I fix
Okay.
this OBS camera?
Fucking CTV.
Is the virtual camera thing blue?
This
or it
is
says
my
stop
new
virtual-
shtick when people are pissing
Does
me
it
off.
say stop
Where?
virtual camera?
I'm just gonna transform.
On
into
my
bottom?
Discord or on
No.
I want to
On
get back to the
OBS.
conversation
on
so bad.
OBS? How do I get to virtual camera?
If we're gonna
Under
continue to agree,
controls.
I'm gonna have to
Contr-
continue to be a CTV.
Cut.
I was
Settings?
hoping for less agreement, and that's why we got more fun stuff in here at this point.
Settings.
There's so many more
tools?
people.
No,
It'll be
it's
great.
not under
Controls. There we
settings.
go. Controls.
Once we get this camera thing handled,
It's
Just
not
let
under
me-
controls.
It's
we've
not.
got
What?
this.
You just said control. Okay. What?
Well, it's under controls, but it's like it's where your scenes and sources and stuff are.
Okay. Yeah.
Like where you start.
Okay.
Start
I've
and
got
stop
my.
streaming.
I've got my. Yeah. I've got all that up. My camera. What?
Okay,
do I
so
right?
I'm
Do I
at
right
51
click
cards.
it and
Ma'am,
tell it
did you-
to do
ma'am?
something?
Did you click
Di-
start virtual camera, ma'am?
Ooh.
Oh my god.
So,
So-
underneath where it says
So,
start
so at
streaming.
51, no, I'm using my 51st
Underneath where
card.
it says start streaming, I don't have any of those up right now because I'm currently streaming.
Kai's doing this to me because she has the
There's-
same name as me,
It's
and
still there.
I'm
He
black.
hates me.
It says-
He
And
hates
I'm
me.
black.
No. I got
And
this.
he hates
It
me because I'm
literally-
white.
It unironically says start virtual camera. Click that fucking button.
I didn't know you were white.
I'm so white.
That makes it
No,
more fun.
I'm streaming right now, so I can't click start virtual game. So do I have to stop streaming?
You can
No,
no,
you
you
know,
can
like,
still
turn
click
your
it while it's
camera.
streaming.
Turn your camera off in your sources. Just turn it
Okay.
off real quick.
Okay.
Deactivate that
Just
shit.
deactivate it.
Yep.
I can do that.
Then you go back to
I
controls.
know how to do that. How do I deactivate? Deactivate. We're not sure. No, deactivate. There we go. Okay,
There you
got
go.
it.
Praise.
Now, go to controls and hit start virtual camera.
Control. Wait, controls on
Uh,
on
I didn't
Discord
know
or
it was
OBS?
like on
OBS.
This
OBS.
is a
Go to
lot more than I
controls.
bargained for.
Yep.
All right.
controls.
I had nothing
Okay.
to do with any of
Start
this.
virtual camera.
Right.
Start virtual camera.
This is not my
Hey, there it is.
Do I have it?
Yep.
There.
Now click the little setting thing. The
Can
little-
I
I see my
activate?
whole stream. It's beautiful. It's a gorgeous stream.
Oh,
Yeah.
What the
shit,
fuck? You can't even see my. You can see everything but my cam. Okay, wait.
Relax.
Look.
We're fixing that part right now.
Yeah, you see the little gear
For the
thing right next to where
record,
it says
I
start
knew she
virtual
was
camera.
white.
Parallax
Also
got a
leave it.
fear
Click on
fixing
that.
all of these things
There'll
and
be a
keeping
little
people
pop-up.
calm.
Start virtual camera setting. Do source camera.
No, so where it says output
Speaking
selection,
of parallax, did you see that Darkseid got a yellow ring?
Bang! I did.
where it says
I did.
output selection, you should be able to pick any scene that you have. Which you have it.
And we good.
Or here, just whatever you did, just leave it right there because it's just your camera
Wait.
now.
Okay, wait. Oh shit.
This
Wait.
is just.
You
I
might
think
be
you
on
had
the
it.
older version.
You had
Since,
it. No, she had it.
I had. I
She was
didn't. I
the one
changed
who's
it.
having
Okay.
all the
hold on.
issues,
She
and
had
should
it.
I just
Oh.
make her big?
It was
sword,
amazing.
I guess.
No, you
There
had
you
it.
It
Go
was
back to
everything we
yeah,
needed in
leave it.
life.
Leave it.
There we go.
Yeah, leave it right there.
I'm about
You're gonna have me spitting bars in a minute. Chill that out.
First, just some poor. Spit 'em.
Alright, bro. God damn.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get the alerts.
Be back
quiet
in,
down
like,
'cause we're
30
feeding-
seconds.
They're feeding through Discord.
I guess
my
I have to refer to the host
God.
as Water now because there's two Kais, as if names weren't hard enough for me.
How about
You're
Leafy?
welcome.
Everybody calls him
I'm
Leafy.
Leafy. You can always forget that and
Leafy,
remember
my
it
bad.
again.
You can, if you need to, just call me Okay. That's what
I
most
am
people
going to
do,
call him
anyways.
Water because this is the extent to which I am capable of dealing with names.
I work with that. I can
I'm
fucks with
gonna
that.
go with
Discord isn't your
Water.
honor. She forgot the delay. Well, I'm
You got-
retarded. Okay, just let me be.
There's no retardation here. We're all doing great. And so, how do you feel about the Satanic Panic? And I also want to speak to Vigilante about that.
Oh yeah,
since
are we back on to
all these
Satanism?
wonderful people.
Oh,
Yeah, we're
she's
back
a
on.
Packers
We're
fan?
mostly talking
Oh,
about
I haven't
What
seen so
level
much of.
of influence certain religions should have on society and the decisions they make regarding depictions. so on and so forth.
Zero. Across the board. I don't know.
I think
I don't
society
think-
could use more Satanism, but
Satanism has been
Unironically.
doing great things for America.
Unironically, no. I don't like. I can't. I'm not personally disagreeing with Satanism itself. I'm disagreeing with religion and government combining. That's my
Satanism needs just-
disagreement.
They
we're
just
talking
need a
about society.
rebrand. Satanism
Okay.
just needs a rebrand. If they rebranded, bro, that you guys would spread like wildfire, motherfucker. That shit's dope.
Dude, they're doing that though.
Well,
Right?
No, I mean
that's
like
the
I
thing.
mean under a new name. I think like so similar to how
No,
I
that's
think
extremely
Bernie
unsatanic.
Bernie would be sure fair, but Bernie would be more successful if he dropped the socialist part of democratic socialist.
Well,
He would just be
yeah.
more successful.
Okay, wait. So
Well, Bernie's
Bernie's
also more
satanic.
suck them.
Bernie's
no,
satanic.
no. I'm saying words matter. I'm saying the word socialist in democratic socialist makes him feared by some people. The word satanic makes this religion feared, even though it's based as fuck.
Yep, that's
Let
the
me
point.
connect
I don't
those
blame you.
dots
I don't blame you at all.
Satanism
By the
is
way.
called that deliberately to be
I
balanced
agree.
against Christianity. It just
Yeah,
stands in
Yes.
direct
Are we
opposition
gonna
to
do
the-
this right
just
now?
I'm
Okay.
just gonna call it edgelordism.
Edgelord is. I'm gonna
I
say
mean,
right now
That's fair.
that. Okay, like I said before I came in, I'm a few beers in. Like
We caught
I'm
that.
so I'm not like connecting where you guys were talking about to where I came in. I just gotta say, like the attack on like I'm not even very religious. I even like through high school considered myself atheist until like now I've been like agnostic, I guess, like skeptical. But I was born and raised Christian Catholic, I guess. It
Mm.
was back and forth.
To be fair, that's
and
the majority of people in the United States.
I've got to say, like,
Who aren't
the
religious.
biggest downfall of our society is the loss of religion.
I don't necessarily
Biggest?
disagree with that.
the biggest.
Not the biggest, not the biggest,
know
but
if
I,
I'd say biggest,
I
but
can
yeah.
say not the biggest. No, that was
Okay.
an exaggeration. It was
Okay,
exaggerated. But I can say that a big downfall of our society is the loss of religion and the loss of a moral upstanding to look up to, I guess, is more of what I mean. Like there's many different religions. When I went to basic training for the military, and we every Sunday it was either clean the barracks or go to church. And I wasn't religious at the time. Of course, didn't want to clean the barracks. So I
Clean
tried
those fucking barracks.
I tried every church every single church. And the church that I ended up going to every Sunday was the Buddhist church because they're very moralistic. They're very, do
Buddhism
good,
based.
be
I like
good,
that.
be a good person.
Buddhism-based.
And, that will show up in your life and that will do, whatever. gang. Like,
So
that's what so I was like, that's kind of cool. Like, I'm not
Gang,
very
gang.
like, God, what up? Like, but I'm very like, hey,
Gang.
what up?
Buddha.
Gang. So,
I have to say, I relate to
I
that
would-
experience.
so I really liked that. It was like, be more realistic of your life, be a good person, treat yourself how you would want your neighbor to treat you. Like, I just thought that was very, very good ideology. So that's what I enjoyed was Buddhism. I'm not very religious, but if I were to enjoy a religion, it would be Buddhism because it's very self-reflective. It's very oriented. It's not so much, hey, there's this outer person to relieve
It's
me
really
of
like Satanism.
this and that. There's a inner responsibility to acknowledge what I've done, to acknowledge what I can do, and to do good things and acknowledge bad things. That's what I thought was cool.
That's what
I had
most
to go
Buddhism is,
to
really.
I had to go to church on base. It was either do PT or go to church on base, but the only church on base was a Catholic church. And with the level amount of kneeling, I decided after that first visit to go ahead and go back to PT.
See, I was a child, and I was like, this bitch up here in the front and center is telling me to kneel, stand, kneel, sing, cry, kneel, stand. Like, I was like, I don't understand what's going on. Like, I grew up in this stuff until I was in the 3rd grade, and then I had the option to continue to go to religious school or go to a public school. And I decided to go to a public school because I did not even as a child, going to mass Wednesdays and Sundays, like I did not connect at all with what they were saying. Like that, and I do not dismiss Christianity. I do not dismiss Catholicism. I think they're great things. I think that they're overly abused in our society today.
They always have been.
I disagree with so much of what you said.
We
So
do.
much.
I was too busy
Wait,
adding.
who
quotes.
said-
Well, we
I
haven't
was too
heard
busy
from
That's
adding
we
fine.
haven't heard from
quotes in my
Vigilante.
quotes in my
Vigilante
chat.
just got here. Give Vigilante a shot to
Go for
run
it.
through this.
No,
gamut.
I just can't. I can't tell who's.
I disagree
Okay,
with
I
almost
need to
everything you
pull-
said.
Okay, yeah.
I
No, there's no
partially
race.
disagree.
Okay.
So
So, but
I wouldn't-
like one thing to know about me, I'm friends with everybody. Like people who 100% disagree with me, and they're still cool
Yeah,
with me.
I don't dislike you. I can
I'm
go
not.
over it when vigilante.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say beforehand, like if you disagree with me, I'm not gonna fucking hate you. Like I'm not gonna be a dickhead. That's
yeah, no
all.
worries. Me neither. I'm a chill guy.
Yeah.
If
So I would say-
if I was mad at everybody who disagreed with me, I'd be fucked. If you knew
Welcome
me,
to
that'd
the
be really
most
funny.
chill Discord panel.
Yeah, I'm the
You'll
Rizzler.
probably
Well,
ever
so
come
I've
across.
only
I'm the
I've
Rizzler
only
guy. Everybody
recently
loves
gotten
me.
to panel politics and stuff like that, like being open
Welcome.
about what I think. So
I'm so sorry.
Feel
Vigilante.
free to be open.
I'm so sorry.
No hate here. So Vigilante, sorry to cut you off. Please continue.
you're good.
Please continue.
So I would say that for the most part, it's not really the downfall of religion, but it would be more the uproar that we had a long time ago of highly organized religions that overly restrict what people can do, i.e., Christianity, Catholicism, things like that. Because the way that those religions worked, not only did they destroy other religions, force people to do what they want them to do, commit genocides and a bunch of other things, but there's a lot that goes into those.
I can
that
very much agree with
is
you.
very, very bad.
Volatile.
um,
It's bad. It's discourse. It's nasty.
Right, but
I
think
disagree
that,
with what
I
you
can
said,
also
too.
say I
Time
can
out, though.
also
Yeah,
say
yeah. You
that
somehow,
comes from almost any religion that
Yeah,
is
you
in existence.
it feels like you're not engaging with what she's actually saying, which is just that the core framework that
No, thank you for the
most
follow-up.
Abrahamic religions exist within is like just a really good. It's what all
Just
Western,
religion in
all
itself.
Western cultures. Well,
But she's
no,
saying religion in
Abrahamic,
itself,
pretty much. No, it's
which
actually pretty much Abrahamic for the most part. But
She
there are religions,
specified
including like
closer
I
to
said, there are
paganism.
other religions, including like Buddhism, that have similar core values. In general, most religions have the general core values of like do unto others as you would do to yourself, don't harm, etc., so on and so forth. And the fact that most of Western society has developed to include these things is not a coincidence.
No,
Um,
I wasn't saying there was specific religion that the Western society needed to be engaged in. I was saying more so
that's what you're
the
just saying,
loss of
framework,
religion,
the
the
framework gave us
framework
direction.
of exactly, and that's why I said moral upstanding. They're I understand people can be moral and just without religion. I can understand that because I'm not religious. I was indoctrinated and grew up very religious.
You think you're moral?
Listen here, you think you're moral? Listen, I don't know. I don't care. I just think that there's a to the masses of humanity and our culture that there is a positivity of having religious or upstanding morals to look up to. That's all I'm saying.
Well, then I'm going to go ahead and say this is.
out.
I'm going to say
God,
this is
she's
pretty
doing
much
it now.
open. I'm going to say this is pretty much open at this point, and we're going to go
She's
to
correct.
a
We
new
need God.
subject.
Get Jesus in your life.
Wait,
the
can
new
I?
subject is. Oh, go ahead, Elder
I was
Johnson.
saying,
I don't-
please. I was
I
saying,
get-
if I can't respond to any of these
You've
things,
been
like I'm
wanting to.
gonna flip the fuck out. So
I see it.
So the loss of religion isn't the thing that fucking matters. The thing that we actually like about religion, the good thing about it, is the community of which it establishes, which is completely separate from religion. We have a hard time gaining it back without it, but the loss of religion is good for society. Like the things that we moved away from that are like holy
Is
religious
Satanism a
values.
religion? Is Satanism a religion?
When
don't
I'm
Yes.
talking about
listen,
religion,
no.
I'm talking about the dominant religions in this country. When we talk about like
Oh, then
organized
I'm going to
religion,
need you to be more clear, okay? This is CTV
Listen,
time. You
I'm
need to
not.
step up your
I'm not
game.
blaming you for religious. Religious
So-
hate.
Wait,
I'm not
we're
blaming
good.
you for that.
I didn't think
So
that you were
hold
blaming
on one second.
It's more of a
We're good.
community
We're
standpoint.
changing the subject at this point. The subject is now: do we need religion to have morals?
No.
Does
No.
there have to be
No,
a
no.
religious framework in place, or can we have inductive morals and reasoning?
I think
no
we
way
can
without
have it.
Jesus.
That's the new subject. And thank you for that finger, Jack.
I'm sorry.
No, that was all for Lethe. That
was all me. I felt it. I felt it right here. I don't know how many miles away. I felt that finger.
Every one of you is
Clip
morally
that.
bankrupt, and it's because you don't have Jesus in your fucking hearts, okay?
I'm sorry.
You need to get your fucking lives together. You need to open your heart to Jesus. You need to ask for forgiveness for your fucking sins and quit being liberal and retarded.
I'm sorry.
Um,
No, I don't think that. I don't think.
All right.
Hey,
But
hey,
Jack-
Ranger. I don't think that you need. I love Ranger. I love Ranger. Don't you say fuck you to him. Shut up.
Me, Ted Cruz. We're fighting.
Yeah, I don't care. No, I don't think that you need a religious figure to have moral standings in a society. I think that's stupid to say. Is a religious figure of a moral standard a good thing? Yes. I think in some stances it is. In some stances it's not. It depends on every single person who's involved.
why
some
invoke
people are
religion at all in
corrupt.
that? Then we would just say anybody of
I
moral standing is
don't.
good.
I don't.
I'm just saying. Well, if that's the framing you put it. What I'm saying is that it would be more accurate
Some
and to the heart of the
framework-
matter to say that anybody who's morally upstanding is good. Putting religion in there is just muddying the waters.
Religion. So for religious standpoints, for religion, in defense of religion, and I'm not religious at all.
Uh-huh.
I'm not religious.
Well, you
I
need
don't
to get
believe
your
in
fucking
any.
life together.
Are you
I don't
Wait,
believe in
spiritual?
anything. I wish I
Doesn't work
did.
right now.
God, fuck. I might have a better like life going, like a life path going for
Yeah,
me.
here, it seems to be pretty
Who
good.
knows? Who knows? But like, I think that you don't need like. How can I say this properly? You don't need a religious standpoint to be moralistically right. But you do need something else in place of that. Whether it's good parents who teach you to be upstanding people. Like I don't know the replacement exactly of that.
You already said it,
Again, I'm not
morals.
religious. Morals, yes. Well, you
Morality,
have to
ethics.
you have to be taught morality. Some
Depends on
people
what you mean
don't.
by
And
taught. You can seek it out yourself. That's what I did.
you can. I did myself as well.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was born and raised indoctrinated as a Catholic Christian. I thought, like, until I was in like middle school and I was sitting there singing hymns and shit, I was like, oh, holy God, this sounds like some bullshit. Like, I started to really like think to myself like that I don't understand what they're saying to me. I didn't understand what they were trying to teach me. And I didn't understand whatever sort of thing in the sky that they were trying to propose to me. I felt really bad for years on end. When family members would die and such, and religious shit would be brought up, I would be very, very guilty. Like, I would feel so guilty for not, feeling prayers like they did, or having people pray for me, and like getting into it like they did. I felt really, really guilty for that shit. And I was like, eventually, once I got out of high school, I was like, I don't need to feel guilty for this shit. Like, I respect and accept what they're doing and what they believe to be the best that they can offer, which is a prayer, which is okay for them. And I learned to understand that. Like, that's your biggest thing to tell me, hey, I hope you get better. Like, then I really appreciate that. I don't believe in what you're saying, but I know that to you as a person, you're saying what you think to be substantial. I don't know. Sorry. I don't know where I was going with that. I'm going to shut up.
Hey guys, I guess it's dinner time. I gotta dip out. It was nice to meet all of you. Have
Been a blast. Have a
good night.
drowsy.
Good one, Drowsy.
Thanks for
Yeah,
being
I'm
here.
so mad at you, Jack. Fuck off. I didn't need the grandpa.
I didn't lie. My dinner is here, but I was gonna get too frustrated having a desire to have a real conversation about any of the things that were being talked about, and it was anytime I don't know, it just I didn't feel like a productive conversation could be had anymore, so I had to dip out. I could have eaten dinner on stream while it was going on, but like it was too much for me. I'm gonna respond to what's your name? Biggie Miggy. I'll respond to Biggie Miggy, and then I'm gonna peace out of here. Let's see. Given that you guys don't believe in objective good, do you guys just use consensus for the morals you believe in? No. My moral system is for me only. I believe in what I think is good. I'm a deontologist, so what I think is right, I believe that I have to follow that. I think that the only thing that is good, that possibly can be good, is the will to do good. If you intend to do good, then you know it's good. It may not be good for other people, because I don't believe in objective morality. I believe that good is subjective as fuck. And deep down, you're the only one who can ever truly know if what you did is good or bad. It's dissatisfying when we try to gauge and judge the actions of other people, but um, in terms of like, what is it? What actually is it? How do we know if we are like doing the good things or the bad things? Are we trying to do the good things or the bad things based on our own perceptions? That is the only metric that I think anybody can go by. Otherwise, it either has to come from God, or it has to come from you. Otherwise, it's just going to be 100% arbitrary and meaningless. So for me, I know what my moral ideology is. I decided what it is based on my strong will to do what I think is good. When I fail to do that, when I know what I think is good and I choose something else, I have now done something bad. I've done something morally abhorrent then. So that's what it is for me. As for the rest of them, I would love to have gotten into that. It just didn't seem like that kind of a conversation was going to happen anymore. And religion's a big subject for me. And not being able to like actually have any conversation when like that is supposed to be the conversation that we're talking about, I was just gonna have a really rough time with it. So I needed to excuse myself, and it aligned with dinner time, because I didn't know how to engage with her in saying that this is, I don't know her, I don't want to upset her or anything like that, because like everybody else seemed fine with it too. So I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad. To like steer the panel back on track. I'm not the host. That's not my job. So because I was going to struggle with it, I thought it was best for me to just excuse myself and then have my dinner off stream. I guess I'll also answer the growing Arknid from YouTube chat. Why do I have so much hate towards Christianity? I'd say I have a lot of contempt for Christianity. And the reason is, for me, it is the institution that has bred the most hateful and shitty ideas that I have experienced in my life. It is the institution that has led people to justify doing the worst things that have impacted me and the people that I care about by a huge margin too. It's not like just like a little bit here and there. Christianity has been like the greatest force of like bad, that like singular force that I can think of that I've experienced in my life. And if I can't consider that to be a bad thing, or if I don't dislike that, then I think that there's like, I have to be like crazy. I keep seeing the same pattern over and over again. I identify it as leading back to this belief system that seems to produce this particular result. So that's why I don't like it. It's not inherently bad. I don't believe that at all. But it does consistently lead to really nasty things that I find through my moral system to be fairly abhorrent. So I reject it, not outright, but I don't want anything to do with it. When I crunch the numbers, it seems like it's something that I just don't want to be a part of. I don't want to support it. I don't want to encourage it, because I don't want to encourage the kinds of things that I have noticed arise from it. So that's why there are some good things that come along with it too. I think that, but none of those things are inherent to Christianity. We can achieve all the things that I think are positive about it without it. Like community gatherings and all that. We need to find another way to do it. I just think that we have to get people in tune to thinking that community matters, and we can get the things that we greatly benefit from Christianity without it. I think I'm going to be streaming tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday. Probably more in the daytime. I was invited to go on the political shit show panel. However, I am going to be going on to the Mr. Girl hotline on Saturday to tell Mr. Girl that the things that he's saying about Mr. Beast are some of the dumbest shit he's ever said. I'll probably say it more politely than that. Maybe not though. I think it really frustrates me and bothers me. All the negative discourse about Mr. Beast because he helped blind people see. Yeah, that makes me really mad. So I might say it in a bit of a heated way. We'll see. Other than that, next week I start my regular stream schedule. If you want to get my stream schedule, you can check it out on Twitter. It's just twitter.com/elder, or it's just at Elderdrazi. For those of you that showed up and stayed, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'll have a lot more consistent content coming soon. Even outside of the schedule, there will be extra streams in there. Those are just my guaranteed days that I'm going to be streaming with an outline for what I will be doing. I'm trying to broaden things up a bit so that I can get a bigger audience strictly for the reason of getting me more ability to... I'm trying to grow my presence just so that I can get more leverage in pulling in the people that I want to talk about things with. So my growth is mainly going to be motivated so that I can do the things that I want to do and hopefully provide better content by doing that. So thank you very much. Have a good night. And I will be back tomorrow. Oh, and if you're on Twitch, feel free, like Biggie Miggy, if you want to talk religion sometime, feel free to join the Discord. If you're on YouTube, I don't have a button set up on the stream deck for that, but I can do this. Feel free to join the Discord. All right, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to eat dinner and hang out with my wife before she has to go to bed. You guys have a great night. I'll see you later.